There we go. We're live. Hey, folks. Welcome to Solidarity Ensues. I'm one of your hosts. My Twitter handle is @StoryTom, and my name is Tom, which is, hence the handle. And my over here, my co-host.
I'm Abby. Ab for short.
You gonna leave me hanging? Gonna leave me hanging?
Oh. I don't.
Yeah, that worked great.
How long have cameras done this? Oh, jeez. Tom, is that short for anything? Like tuh? No, I got that backwards entirely. I'm so sorry.
Oh, now we're live. Were we not live before? Anyway.
We've been live for 46, 47, 48, 49, 50.
Oh, okay. It started over again. I just want to make sure
we're go streaming.
Okay. All right. Well, anywho, this will be a fun night. We got a lot of great guests. We are going to try to raise some money for a good cause also. Basically, the world is hell, and we'd like to make it slightly less hellish by taking action locally in our communities. Pittsburgh DSA has endorsed 3 candidates for local office in this November election that are in competitive race. Abby, I really like what you've done with your hair.
I can't find my hairbrush, Tom. I'm humiliated.
I don't have access to that kind of advanced hair technology either, so it's okay. There you go. Anyway, it should be a fun night. We're going to hear from the candidates. We're going to hear from comedians. We're going to hear from, hopefully we'll have a musical guest. I just got to work out a tech issue on that, and it should be a good time. Also, Abby, did you know that there is an additional thing we are raising money for tonight?
I got my suit on.
You ready?
I'm dressed for the occasion.
So if we raise $500, and this is
got my helmet.
There we go. We will send Abby to the moon. Because at $500, we'll have enough money to win these elections with some to spare. So there will be enough left to buy Abby a ticket on not Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk's rockets. It's actually just it's a kit that I bought, but it should work. So
I've had good experiences with kits in the past.
Yeah. So $500, we'll send Abby to the moon, and for $1,000, we may even bring her back. So anyway, that's what you have to look forward to. We started this show out having already raised some money. I'm going to refresh the page real quick and see where we're at now. We have raised $84 from 5 donors. So at $500, we will send Abby to space. And that is my promise to you, the American people. All right. Should we go to our first guest? Is Joe, Zach, is Joe here? Is Joe here yet? If not, we can hang out. Okay. All right. Well, we've got other Zach.
We could move the headliner up to the opening slot. Poor Zach. Oh, we do have Joe.
There's Joe. Okay.
Our opener, right. Joe.
So Joe Kozala is a Pittsburgh native and a comedian who has been doing this is his 3rd show with us, and so I'm running out of ways to introduce him, but he's from Pittsburgh and he's great, and hopefully he is going to tell you some funny bits. All right, take it away, Joe. Go clown.
Time, baby. Time for some bits. Thank you for the introduction. So, this is my 3rd time, and I've got a million bits. So, if you were afraid that I was going to run out of any, forget it. I'm full of bits. The first time I did this, I was streaming from Pittsburgh, and now I am coming live again. I'm in Pittsburgh again. I don't know if I can you guys can tell, and I'll do a little too. Here we are. Beautiful Las Vegas. Traveling really since the pandemic, certainly to to Vegas. Do I sound bad?
Yeah, so sorry. It's better now, but I asked our tech guy to cut me back in so we could figure out your sound issue. But I think we're okay now. Can you
Sure?
just give me a sound check?
Yeah, for sure. Hey.
There's about again.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take you off, Joe, for just like 5 minutes while you sort that out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Zach, let's get me and Abby back on here. I think that now might be a good time. Hey, Abby. Now might be a good time.
Welcome back, Tom.
Yeah. Now might be a good time to show off the spaceship that we built for you.
I'm so excited about this spaceship.
I'm pretty excited too. It is light on safety features. That is the first thing that you have to cut when you have...
Danger is my middle name. It's fine.
That's true.
Abby Denton.
And then is there another middle name in there? There's some kind of Digimon, I think.
Oh, Koemon is a term of art.
Term of art. Okay. Well, Zach, can we put the rocket ship that I've shared up on screen? I want folks to see that we're serious about this. There we go. So that is the ship that Abby will be riding to the moon. You can see it's the moon behind her there. This is a very high-tech rendering. And when you get there, Abby, do you have plans for what you're gonna do?
Well, I brought a stick and I'm going to attach it to the surface of the moon. Because you know what I want, Tom? It's the moon on a stick.
Yeah. They actually did that though when they went to the moon, is they stuck a stick in the moon and it had an American flag on it and it's like blowing in the breeze, but there's no breeze on the moon, so they had to like fake the breeze. It's like literally held in like a wavy pattern by a wire. So do you have a wire and a flag that you can plant
I didn't plan ahead that well, but that's fine. I don't want the moon with a flag. I want the moon on a stick. It's completely different.
I see. Okay. Well, I don't really...
I'll tell you what you want with all your little niggles and corrections, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
You want the moon on a stick. That's what you want.
I think that that's actually a better solution anyway, because a flag is kind of an anti-working people sort of thing. It's like a very nationalist kind of thing, and like the moon doesn't exist to benefit any one people or nation. That may also be the case. That may be the real conspiracy, but also just like going there just to go there and not claim it for anybody, but just for all humanity.
It would be nice, of course. If we're getting into symbols, what is his name? Archimedes said, if he had a lever and a place to stand, he could move the entire Earth. And affixing a lever to the moon of any length, a strong enough person could then alter the course of the history of this tiny celestial object, which is not beautiful. It seems as though Joe is ready again, and I think so. I do want to challenge what you were saying about your introduction to Joe. You've introduced him twice already in shows that went well. Anyone who's returning clearly enjoyed the shows, so they'd love to see that material rehashed. And those who were here for the first time, they're gonna love it. They're gonna
love it again.
Rehash warm gruel for us.
That is
fine.
That is why it's so
TV,
great.
Tom. It's great
that we have another
CBS.
chance to introduce him tonight, right? So without further ado, for the second time, Joe Quazala. Oh no, it's still bad.
Oh no!
Still bad. That's okay, Joe. That's okay. I can't.
For your high school's history of cheating at football.
So that's
you can just
running
recycle
joke.
Material.
I'm sorry, Joe. We'll keep you we'll keep you backstage so that you can call in if we figure out what on earth is going wrong there. I think Abby, you are going to the moon, but Joe is calling in from the depths of the ocean. He's calling in from the Mariana Trench. So that's why the signal's a little bad.
As above, so below, my friend.
All right. Well, Joe says he's actually calling in from a hotel in Las Vegas. That could be the reason, though. They don't want anything getting out of Las Vegas. I've heard that what happens there is supposed to stay there. I don't know if you have the same perception of Las Vegas, Abby. Yeah.
I've never been to Las Vegas, which is lucky because otherwise I would still be there.
So, Joe, one last thing we can try is if you want to call in from LTE. In the meantime, we're going to move forward with our show. Zach, do we have Anita Prizio? While we check to see if we've got Anita Prizio on the line, Anita Prizio is actually not hi, Anita. Anita is a county council member who has been endorsed by Pittsburgh DSA, and she is running for re-election, and we are going to make it happen because she is a champion of working people, of reproductive rights, for the climate, and without further ado, Anita Prizio.
Hi, everybody. I'm so appreciative of, I love you, Tom and Abby. I mean, DSA was so instrumental in getting me elected the first time. So I just want to thank everyone who's on this call, who's, out there to support us. But we need to support everybody. I mean, we need to support Jacob and Connor, because we need to have this revolution has to be from the ground up, and county council, but also on the city council and the magisterial and constable level is so important. And I so stand in solidarity with all you folks, and we need leadership on all these levels. So I just want to enjoy myself. I've been knocking doors. I've been, out there all day. So I'm just looking to just listen to everybody, and so appreciate all your support. Thank you so much.
All right, and we're back.
I
Thank you,
had
Anita.
a quick question for you, Anita. An important policy. I promise.
Yes.
I promise you're going to knock it out of the park. But the Penn Hills high school football team hasn't really won a single game in about 20 years. I was just wondering what you're going to do about Pittsburgh area high schools established track record of cheating at football against Penn Hills.
I wish I could do something. So I'm not very well versed in football at all. I went to school. We didn't even have a football team.
I don't watch football. I went to school.
So yeah, I went to an all-girls school. So it didn't even have a football team. But
what did you do instead of football?
Pardon me?
What does an all-girls school do instead of football?
So I played lacrosse and field hockey.
Hey.
Fencing. So fencing was really what I did. I was the captain of the fencing team at my high school. So I'm way out there as far as football. But I just want to say something. So my daughter went to the University of Alabama. So she's all into football. So I'm learning from her.
Well, here's hoping you get a Crimson Tide.
There we go.
At the polls.
Tide.
I only know that because of a Steely Dan song.
Well, Abby, I'm glad that you're getting down to the root of this issue here. I think that really it all does come down to political corruption, and I do think anything Anita can do to ensure football justice would be appreciated. So thank you for your time, council member. And we are gonna head on. We're gonna move on. All right, cool. So we may be having some tech issues, but we still have raised money, still $84, which is cool.
To buy a new microphone.
Yeah, to buy a new microphone for Joe Quazala, or to buy an upgrade for his hotel Wi-Fi. So thank you, Anita. Next up, Zach, do we have Alec Robbins handy? And Abby, if you want to intro him.
Alec Robbins, he'll make your dreams come true.
I'll try my best.
Alec Robbins, he'll do the same to you. When the world looks kind of weird and you can be anywhere.
Come on, we all know the theme song. Keep going.
It's
And
not
let's close
Digimon.
it out.
I don't
Yeah,
care about it. I don't care about it.
It's honestly the one main thing I know about you, Abby, is that if it's not Digimon, you're not interested, even
Not
the tiniest bit. But hello.
But this is Alec Robbins. You may know him. You children watching the stream, running the stream, you may know Alec Robbins as a little-known fictional cartoon character he invented named Mr. Boop.
I absolutely know
that's
that.
the big one.
I absolutely know
That's
Mr.
the
Boop.
exciting one. But I felt that if we put that on the poster, it might constitute some sort of trademark issue. And if there's one thing Alec is known for, it's being litigious and having a C in his name instead of an X.
All true.
Those are the two things people first notice about Alec.
Very litigious guy.
Very
Even
litigious
walking
guy.
past. Yeah. No, I don't care. I won't sue anybody. You can do anything to me or at me, and I'll just leave it be.
Shut up.
Yeah. Okay. So let me try to share my screen and get started.
Aha! We were sorting this out earlier.
Well, what's weird is, okay, it's gonna make me. You're gonna see all my tabs. I think is what's gonna happen here. So let's have fun being vulnerable.
You might see it on the thing already on mine. Maybe.
Oh, I got actually. Yeah, you want to just
Oh.
do it? I just shared mine too, and I'll stop sharing now, and we'll just do it that way. Perfect. All right. So Abby, you want to help me click ahead on this PowerPoint? This is my Yale thesis paper. Here we go. You can
I
click
didn't
the
know
next
you went
one.
to Yale.
Yeah, I didn't. For the bit, I did though. So I'm
Oh,
going to
okay.
rank all the Mario characters in the whole Mario universe. Click again. In order of how many people I think want to kiss them. So I'll start at the bottom. I'll start with the character that I think the least people want to kiss, and I'm going to go over some preparations first. So obviously, before World War II, people had never heard of Mario. They couldn't have thought about kissing him or any of his friends. So we can count those people out. And you can continue forward. Yeah, let's limit our findings to people who are currently alive today. Next. This leaves us with a potential 7.64 billion people who could have wanted to kiss Mario and his friends. So the maximum number would be 7.64 billion. Based on my own personal knowledge, though, the minimum number of potential people who could have wanted to kiss Mario and his friends will be 1. I'm not going to say why. I just know for sure that the minimum number is 1. Have I done any actual research? Kind of. Kind of I have. Here's what it is. This is just some stuff we got to get out of the way before I start. The best-selling Mario games.
I'll tell you what, Alec. I'm really sorry for breaking your flow of your presentation.
I'll share.
Perhaps
I'll
if you make
share.
some sort of a funny oral sound effect, like
What if I snap?
to
Is that too
signify that I
awful?
have to click. That would be hilariously rude. Go for it.
It's rude. I'll snap. Okay.
It's great.
Or I'll just do this. I'll do a point instead.
Go, psst,
Yeah.
Camarero.
So we're gonna the best-selling Mario games sold 40 million. This doesn't mean we're capped to 40 million as a maximum figure for the amount of people who wanted to kiss any one character. And a 1990 survey found that more people recognized Mario than Mickey Mouse. So everybody knows Mickey Mouse. So everybody knows Mario. So anyone can be a culprit. Let's move on. Is this based on how hot I personally think the Mario characters are? No, it has nothing to do with my own personal preferences. This is only based on my realistic estimates for how many people I actually think have sat in their bedroom and thought about how much they want to kiss each character. This is just my knowledge and expertise. Who will be disqualified before we start? Let's go through this. The following Mario characters will not be counted. Bob Hoskins live-action Mario, because he would win immediately. The rest of the live-action movie cast, that's too big of a can of worms. Diddy Kong, we don't count him as a full Mario character. That is a spin-off character. The baby characters, not going to worry about them. Let's begin. Here we go. The first, let's go. The bottom of the barrel. Toad, 0. Nobody has ever wanted to kiss Toad. Just something we all know about Toad. 1 person has thought about kissing Toadsworth, though. Let's continue climbing. Elon Musk Wario. Only 2 people have ever wanted to kiss Elon Musk Wario, and do not worry, they have already been executed. The King from Mario 3. This is low only because people just forget about him as a character. I'm sure it'd be higher. Friendly Floyd. This is just a guy from one of the Nintendo Power Mario comics that I think is so likable that despite his obscurity, he's reached the high number of 172 people who want to kiss him.
That was a good comic.
It was a great comic, and in fact, I included this. This is just a nice page from the comic where they're teaching you how to speak Yoshi. That's something I enjoy. I wanted to share with you. Foreman Spike, neglected character from Wrecking Crew on the NES, used to be Mario's boss. I think we can all see the appeal. But interestingly, he's going to be in the new Illumination Studios Mario movie. I saw his name listed in that's real. Weird pull, but they're bringing him back. So expect this number to skyrocket up. And then this is actually the next slide gesture, even though I just did a very similar gesture. Tatanga's the final boss of the Mario Game Boy game. 663 people have wanted to kiss him. That's absolutely for sure.
I should clarify to you, Alec. I can't actually see your gesture because this is full screen for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't. I'll do the snap then.
I'm just psychically sensing it, and I think we're reaching synchronization.
We are. We're very in tune. Snap, and that's rude. We've agreed to it.
It's perfect.
So Magic Koopa, just because they're so annoying, the number's low, but it's still much higher than we've been before. This is 20,000.
That was my favorite when I was a child, was Magic Koopa.
Oh, yeah. Magic Koopa's great.
It's great.
Lakitu, 25,000 people want to kiss Lakitu. Total nerd, super big dipshit, but hey, it's just the kind of thing that some people like. Goomba. Sorry, this is the most naughty the presentation will get, but yes, Goomba looks
no,
like
it is not.
Okay, it'll get a lot worse. I actually edited a lot of this to be less naughty. Wiggler, 45,000, also looks like a sex toy. Bullet Bill, also looks like a sex toy. This is just some art that I found of Bowser. I think it's just him. I found this on Google. I think it's just him assembling Bullet Bills. However, it looks horny, and I thought that would make my case. Monty Mole, why 80,000? I'll show you the next slide. Because when I Google searched Monty Mole, this was literally on the first page. And it is fetish art. I'm not going to...
He could just have eaten a lot.
Yeah, that's a super valid take on what you're seeing. It is wrong, though. Wart. This is many people's dream date. And that's a great joke if you know how Mario 2 ends. So that's for the Mario fans. And now we're in the big leagues. This is the top. Here we go. We're almost done. Mario. We jump right up to the billion number, 1.528 billion. And this is just because Mario's everywhere. It's hard not to think about kissing him, but he's pretty vanilla, pretty boring, so he's still low of the top tier. Peach, obvious choice, 1.6 billion. And you'd think this is like near the top, but we're not even close. We are close, but we're not close. Princess Daisy, 1.7 billion. This is only a little higher than Peach just because she's a little bit more alt, I would say. Pauline, the most Italian of the Mario ladies. That's just personal speculation. I don't know if that's canonically true. It just feels true. And of course, that specificity skyrockets. So Captain Syrup, 1.85 billion. This is a more obscure character, but the ratio for people who have seen Captain Syrup and want to kiss her are so high that it brings her up. Yoshi, 1.9 billion. Boshi, 1.91 billion.
Yeah.
For very, very obvious reasons. Hammer Brothers, the concept of getting double teamed is very hot to a lot of people. Sometimes that's all it takes.
That's when someone kisses you on one cheek and someone else kisses you on the other.
They come in from both sides and you just sit there like a little angel and get kissed by both Hammer Brothers.
I was always told that was called twin kisses.
We can call it whatever we want. And now we're at the cream of the crop. Birdo, 1.96 billion. There's a lot to like here. Don't need to get into it. Professor Egad, not to my particular tastes, but trust me, he's got appeal. Gino, this is a weird living puppet character from the Final Fantasy developers who made a Mario game called Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. You might not know who Gino is. You might know who Gino is. Either way, it would absolutely shock you to know how many people out there want to kiss this living puppet. Fawful, similarly, this is another obscure Mario enemy, but just this little bean guy, 1.99 billion people do want to kiss him. And they're right. Rosalina. Now we're getting to the really obvious shit. This is just the prototypical mommy energy character. And you can see why everybody wants to kiss the mommy. 2 billion people. Easily making it into the top 5. Let's see number 4. Wario. 4.5 billion. Dirty, smelly, greedy, drives a motorcycle. A lot of people would be like, those are reasons not to kiss. They are incorrect. The 4.5 billion people who want to kiss Wario understand the truth. Waluigi, 5 billion. Canonically the most sexually active Mario character. I made that up, but it's right. Radiates a very powerful bisexual energy. You are not safe from Waluigi's charms, even if you think you are. Bowser, 6 million. This was going to be my number 1 choice. I think a lot of people probably predicted it would be number 1. It's actually number 2. So this is the daddy energy, which outranks mommy energy, I think. Not always, but in this case, it did. And the winner is, here we go, Luigi. With 7.64 billion people. That's everybody on Earth. Everybody wants to kiss Luigi. I hope this goes over 5 minutes. This is my very important presentation. Let's go one more slide. I think there's a little, Yanis Films logo. Thank you, everybody, for enjoying my Mario rankings. I love you all, and good luck.
I don't know how to get off of this screen.
Hey, I don't know how to get off of this screen, so we'll hang out.
That was a good presentation, Alex.
Thank you. I hope you liked it. I hope everyone watching liked it.
What inspired you to pick this as your... Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's off. Just thought people needed to know. Just felt like everyone needed to understand that those numbers were accurate.
Thanks for coming by, Alec.
My pleasure.
Zach, we can cut his video there.
I miss you,
sorry.
Alec. I miss you already.
I just come in here and I'm like chop their heads off because
I had so many One Piece jokes to share with him that would have appealed to all of the voters of Pittsburgh.
You could still do that just on, Twitter DM as God intended. I have an update. I have an update as far as our space mission, which I thought that you might want to hear. So I'll just refresh the page one more time, but it was looking pretty good when I refreshed it last. Okay, so we have raised $229, which is pretty awesome considering we were also dealing with some tech issues at the same time. So they have been fixed. Everything is good. We've always been at war with East Asia. And go read Alec's Mr. Boop comics because they are so funny. Oh yes.
Also read Crime Hot, which is superb.
Cool. So we need about $250 more to send Abby to the moon. Just as a reminder, that's very, very important.
For 1,000, I'll come back from the moon.
For 1,000,
and then if we raise 2,000, I'll just stay on the moon, and you never have to look at me again.
And then at 3,000, we bring her back again. And
but
we'll
changed by space.
Okay, so let's see who we've got here next. Next up, let's do Jacob Klinger next because I think Connor is still waiting in the wings here. But Jacob Klinger is another candidate. He made me promise that everybody would know he was not going to be funny. So that is your disclaimer. Jacob is a candidate, not a comedian. Jacob is running for constable, which sounds like terrible, but actually he's running basically on a platform of he won't do the job, which is amazing. So anyway, it's
I have
very
to say
cool.
I enjoy the 1960s sitcom energy of Constable Klinger.
Oh yeah. All right, well, without further ado,
yelling at a talking horse and chasing him around Connecticut.
No, Abby, he's not going to be funny. I just said what I just said.
It's good. We'll go.
How can Constable Klinger be anything but hysterical?
You got to understand, like, playing sports and whatnot as a kid. Like, every football, basketball, whatever, coach was like, "Oh, Corporal Klinger, this, that, the third," and then it's like, high school's a rich vein, but I'll leave that to the proper comedians. or if you run out of folks later, then I'll try my hand at it. But yeah, I am running for constable. It's in Pittsburgh's City Ward 6. So that's Polish Hill, Bloomfields, Little Lawrenceville, and the Strip District. Constable, it sounds funny. It's also bad. Like the main thing they do in my interaction with them is that they evict people. They're the folks responsible for executing evictions. And you know, wherever you're tuning in from right now, like I guarantee you there's someone in your neighborhood who's without a home or about to be. Because as much as, you know, like the media has decided that we can stop talking about you know, these evictions, they're ongoing. Even if you're in a nice neighborhood, I guarantee you it's happening. And I'm speaking to that from personal experience working with the Pittsburgh Union of Regional Renters, who are, you know, excellent coalition partners of ours in Pittsburgh DSA. We're probably out here, I know for myself personally, put in a very full 8 hours of canvassing the day, and it's probably a couple few every day of the week, which is great because we get to talk to people about real stuff. It's not hypothetical. It's not stuck in the world of signaled virtues. It's very much like, hey, you need to know this like arm of the government exists to do bad things to you and your neighbors. And hey, what if we didn't? Hey, what if we got y'all the resources and the actual agency to do elsewise, to actually, you know, build something? Because fundamentally, like all the things we're doing, you know, we go 4 for 4 in a few weeks here, like, you know, it doesn't matter if we're not like materially bringing that back to folks. But that's one of the things that's great about being a socialist, right? Is that like your politics are in the real world and they're tangible, and you get to talk to people about actual things. I quoted Abdullah Öcalan to a Republican earlier today. He's going to vote for me, and so is his girlfriend. Like, which is unintentionally funny. But, you know, I really want to encourage folks not just to support my campaign, but also Anita and Connor's as well, because like we're really in the middle of a moment, and not just because people are getting displaced at, you know, unprecedented numbers, but because like in light of all of these crisis moments, like, you know, liberalism fails us, conservatism fails, you know, all but who it's meant to, you know, like, and we have to be there actually telling our story and providing answers. You know, whether it's Connor over in District 4 talking about how like, hey, listen, this whole like Reagan Democrat like cop bullshit isn't working. You know, like it's literally murdering people for returning something they borrowed that they could have had for free. Like that's your dog. That's y'all. Or, you know, Anita out like really holding it down in a place where we didn't just like take power as socialists and tell our story from that, but also like we have a position to like defend and hold that. That's really meaningful. To speak on what's going on with me as a constable, I'll be really frank. You know, we're talking about taking state power, executive power actually, and holding it to disrupt the state apparatus that furthers the interest of capital, right? So like every neighborhood you roll through, they're trying to flip houses, they're trying to snag them out from grannies or whatever. And that's an act of violence. We can actually be involved in preventing that. We can also be involved in like changing the culture and the society that we live in, where we actually get to know our neighbors because their problems are our problems. And yeah, you know, we're doing that from a strange position that like will give me a badge I'll be extremely uncomfortable with. But like, that's what we do as socialists, right? Like we go compile resources to attain further resources to redistribute those resources. And if we can throw wrenches in the capitalist state while we're at it, then absolutely we have to. It's just a constant flow of genuine suffering that was a matter of policy choices from folks who pretend to be our friends. It's really gross. I will say I in my experiences on doors, it's been really uplifting. Talking to folks who get it because this is so simple. Even people who don't like their neighbors don't want to see their neighbors evicted. And like I've said that in campaign literature, but it's honest to goodness the truth. If we have the opportunity to both legislate and enforce or counter enforce that agenda, that's a really powerful thing. And you don't have to know what like ism or ist or whatever like you are to get with that, but you can fight for it. And if we're really trying to build a movement, and I know that we are, then like that's what we do, and that's what we're doing. So I would love to shoot the shit with y'all later, but I just want to say one more time like how moving it is to see folks like really come into formation and move together and like tell the story of socialism, tell the story of like, you know, possibilities beyond that really are just a matter of like restoring and defending and expanding humanity that we don't have right now, but we will be fighting for the rest of our lifetimes. And I'm hoping to live it with y'all. So please, you can donate to me, donate to Anita, donate to Connor. We're going to spread the good word. And people are receptive. People get it. Like we have to believe that our ideas are popular for them to be true and matter. And happy to report that they are, but we definitely need everything you can muster. So appreciate y'all, and we'll see you at the polls and on the barricades. So appreciate you always, and gonna throw it back to Tom or whoever.
Thanks, Jacob. So yeah, basically this is a really interesting position because the way that Jacob is talking about doing this job is like when he hears about an eviction, like it, instead of executing the eviction, going to those tenants and saying, hey, here are the legal resources you can use to stay in your home, and like turning constable, which is like the worst sounding job in the world, into kind of like an ombudsman for, anyway, I think it's super cool. Abby's nodding. Abby thinks it's super cool. And you know, when two people say something is cool, then you should also, because you want to be cool, don't you?
Majority rules.
You want to be cool. You want to hang out with the cool kids, which is us and our funny friends on the internet who have raised 230, hang on, let me refresh it. $230. I keep wanting to say $230,000. Would that be awesome or what? How many
Just
moonships
say it.
would that buy?
You know, it's manifesting what you want.
Money is made up, right? This is all bullshit anyway. So like money is made up. Capital is a fantasy. Anyway, so I do think that I can scrape together a functional rocket ship for Abby with what we've got. So
I've just done some sort of back of the envelope
Mhm.
calculations, and I think I built a working model for my spaceship.
Let's see it.
Here it is.
Oh, it looks great. It looks great.
Thank you. There's a little Metroid there.
Yeah.
Because the video game came out that I can't afford, but everyone says it's good.
So, Zach, if you could put the graphic of Abby on the moon, because we have sent her there. There we go. Okay, this is live from the surface of the moon. Hi, Abby. How is the moon?
It's fine, Tom. I admit I'm confused by the timeline of this whole bit.
Well, I just thought, you know, it would be nice to use this graphic that I worked really hard on to show
It
the
shows,
nice
yeah.
people. Yeah. So, so Abby's on the moon. Thank you to everybody who's given. We've gotten donations from, let me shout out some great folks here. We've got a donation from Nick. We got a donation from Daniel. We got a donation from Brittany. We got a donation from Georgia. We got a donation from Matt. And those are all very cool people, and you want to be cool, don't? Oh my gosh, $290. We got a donation from Daniel. Another donation from Matt, who is my hero.
Hey.
So we are at almost $300. I know that we sent you to the moon a little early. I kind of got excited. I just wanted to put you on the moon.
Gil Scott Heron wrote a poem about our situation politically. He wrote, I can't pay no doctor bill, but Abby's on the moon. 10 years from now, I'll be paying still. Well, Abby's on the moon. This is from his album Small Talk at 125th and Lenox. The man just upped my rent last night because Abby's on the moon. No hot water, no toilets, no lights. but Abby's on the moon. It's a great.
It is a good poem.
The actual piece is great.
Yeah, it is actually a really good poem. It's actually incredibly relevant to the work that we're doing tonight. I don't think the Plums in the Icebox poem is relevant, and it's kind of a meme, but I can't help my mind is going there right now. Because I mean, if you think about it, the moon is kind of the ultimate icebox, and it's kind of the ultimate plum, because it'll just keep it nice and cold, and it'll never go bad. So you can save them there forever, unless some bastard eats them.
There's children working on this stream, Tom. You're corrupting them.
Yeah, sorry.
It's my understanding that without an atmosphere to soak up radiation, the moon would actually be hot. Is that wrong?
Oh no, yeah. So the atmosphere would serve to
understand how
it would
these
serve
things work.
to regulate the temperature, right? So in the day, the surface of the moon is very, very hot, and at night it gets very, very cold. And
just like
there's
Los
no
Angeles.
wind. Just like Los Angeles.
And the atmosphere is terrible.
Just like Pittsburgh. So anyway, now we're learning about moon facts. I don't think that's really what we're here for. So next up, we have another comedian. His name is Zach Funk. He is a local Pittsburgher, and this is gonna rock. So without
Zach
further
Funk
ado,
is great. He's got an album out called
Does he?
Brains Are Weird. He's
Cool.
a dear friend. He's been on the scene for like longer than I've been awesome, which has been a real long time. Now it sounds like I'm saying he's old. I'm just saying he's experienced.
Zach, this introduction is going to get worse and worse.
He's
as
a
we
great
go.
performer. All right, I'm really excited. I haven't gotten to see him live in ages. So
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Zach, I miss you, my
Abby's
friend.
introduced me before, and I'd like to say that I am really surprised that we did have tech issues earlier. We've gotten the delay from the moon here so quickly, but Abby's not having that delay. So congrats on that.
I'm also seeing from someone in our chat that you are a very
Aw.
generous lover as well.
I'm a cuddler. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Someone just said what background? I don't know where that came from, but yes, that's true. I am quite the cuddler, actually. It's my favorite thing. So yes, before I get into my jokes, I'd like to make an announcement that next Saturday is National Batman Day. So if anyone has ever wanted to orphan a member of the 1%, that is the day to do it. Anyway, I'd like to tell you about some experience I've had here in Pittsburgh that have also made me think about my own life in terms of being someone on the left, being more of a socialisty type person. So a few years ago, I got to go to a Pittsburgh Pirates game with a friend, and they had gotten seats through a friend where we got to watch the game from the like VIP catered box seats. And when I got up there, it was like, oh my God, I get it now. This is why people vote conservative. Because if you have enough money and you have enough clout, you can get your own bathroom in a stadium. It's amazing. But they get to the part of the game where they do the free hot dog launch. Now, for those of you that are not baseball aficionados, the hot dog launch actually goes back to the 1920s. Babe Ruth himself actually used to launch 80 hot dogs a game. So anyhow, they get to the hot dog launch where highly trained unpaid interns storm the field with shoulder-mounted meat cannons and fire into the crowd while people stand and scream because they like meat shot at their face. And everyone in the stadium is standing and cheering because they would like meat shot at their face, including everyone in the rich catered box seats that already came with free hot dogs. And at that point, I realized I have never seen a better example of modern American economics than the rich people literally above the poor people saying, no, fuck them, I want their free shit too. Another kind of political example I had here in Pittsburgh. I came to Pittsburgh to go to college. I unfortunately went to Point Park University, and I was there in 2004 for the Bush and Kerry election. So they had a get out the vote rally at Point Park. The Republicans sent the head of the Duquesne Young Republicans to speak on behalf of Bush. And the Democrats, because they really care about getting the vote out, and, they didn't just assume, oh, you're a college student, you'll vote for us, whatever. They just sent a random guy in a tie-dye shirt that reeked of pot. Didn't even give a shit. And his entire speech as to why we should have supported John Kerry as opposed to like, a candidate would have actually helped. That, wasn't just a lesser of two evil situation, was just Bush, yeah, right. So he gives his thing. The head of the Duquesne Young Republicans goes up to give his speech, and he decides before his speech, he is going to ask if anyone in the audience has questions. My hand goes up. It is the only hand that is up. So he calls on me and I said to him, I asked a question about Bush and Cheney and Halliburton and war profiteering and just how all that stuff seems to be, kind of a problem and a really shitty reason to start a war. And he says back to me, well, if you and I were friends, and I'd like to think we're friends, in the most like condescending conservative tone ever, and you robbed a bank, I wouldn't be guilty of robbing the bank as well, would I? And I said to him, well, no, but that's not quite the analogy. The better analogy is, I robbed a bank, and you gave me plans to the bank, the hours, the security layout, and a gun, and said, here's the best way to rob the bank. The head of the Duquesne Young Republicans' best response was, well, I disagree. Next question. So he calls for the next question. And again, my hand goes up. And again, it is the only hand that is up. So he begrudgingly calls on me again. And I say, yes, I remember how President Bush said we shouldn't politicize the attacks of September 11th. And we shouldn't use it to gain cheap political points. And then I look back at your booth here in the back of the auditorium. And I see you're selling a t-shirt. And on that t-shirt is a silhouette of the two towers. And on those covering those two towers is a silhouette of an elephant. And the shirt reads, an elephant never forgets. How is that not politicizing it? His response was, well, I feel it's not. And then he left. He didn't give his speech. I won a debate that I was not part of. So I was pretty excited by that. I try to stay active in different lefty activities. Earlier this year, a close friend of mine had invited me to go hang out at Pride with her, not just as an ally, but she said, you have a very low sex drive, and I think you might possibly be asexual. And I think you could be there for that. And I had this really weird imposter syndrome of being there, because regardless of whether I'm asexual or gray or demi or whatever it is, Pride is there for people who have been oppressed, and I'm still just a cis white dude. And no one's ever gonna come over and attack me being like, hey, that guy's generally indifferent to fucking. Let's kick his ass. I did some more research. I found out there's a term gray sexual, which means you very rarely have sexual interest, which I think might be it for me. But the term gray sexual just makes me sound like some kind of like Tolkien sex wizard. I'm actually filming this in my bedroom, so be like, hey, come, I'm Zakhdolf the Grey. Come to my bedroom where the magic doesn't happen. Let's see here. How much have I been talking? So mostly I just like to say, everyone, thank you for being here tonight. Life can be really depressing and really lonely. And one of the things I like about being something of a socialist is that, we're here to look out for each other. And that's what life is really all about, So just support these candidates, support each other. If anyone happens to pick up my album, Brains Are Weird, on Bandcamp in the next day or two, I'd like to donate any money I get from that towards this. But otherwise, mental health is a big issue that does not get enough support from our society. I have depression myself. I'm seeing a doctor. I'm trying to take better care of it. My doctor has put me on the No More Tears shampoo, which is somehow not helping. So I've gone back to the doctor. They have since added the No More Anxiety conditioner. And now not only do I feel better, but I can fluff my hair like this, and it's great. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
All right, thank you so much, Zach.
Zach has a great bit that's no one ever asks, how in the world is Carmen Sandiego? It's a really good bit. Zach's the best.
So Yeah, Zach, Abby just did your punchline after your set, and it was really good. So I don't know how that makes you feel, but it is a good punchline. So I have a couple of housekeeping things that I want to do. First off, I'll give you an update on our
Vacuuming?
funds. Yeah, okay, just hang out. I'm gonna take out the trash and no, it's we are at $310 that we have raised. Zach says you got the joke wrong.
I remembered because it was that like dual multiple people get it at the same time. His was the philosophy class asks, why in the world is carbon said? You could just go
that one's nice too. I mean, these are all great. We'll just
I-
workshop
well,
this bit for the rest
as a
of the
stand
night.
up, once you've
Mhm.
done a bit for like so long, you get sick of it and you never want to hear it again. Like you with Joe's intro. Like you may not want to see it again, but like your audience isn't
And
going to
so-
see you 100 times in a row. But then also I have the mind of a child. So like I
Mhm.
do just want to hear the same jokes over and over.
I do
And
too.
so I just wanted to celebrate that joke because I remembered it.
I wanted to start tonight out with like literally the same opener that you and I did for the previous show, which was like
Shambolic.
which was like talking about all of these great Pittsburgh landmarks like Central Park. Yeah, exactly.
That's a different kind of a sad joke.
The Hollywood sign, and the big arch in St. Louis. It doesn't work if I say it's in St. Louis, but I don't remember what that freaking thing is called. Anyway.
I think that's a good way to go with that bit is to
Mhm.
go on to things that have the location in the
in
name.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like France.
Not that I can think of any of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Anyway.
France's Eiffel Tower.
Just France. The
Paris.
whole, the whole country. Anyway, what could be more Pittsburgh than France? So, anyway, let's try this one more time. Hopefully his sound is fixed. If not, Joe, we'll say that was the bit, is how bad your sound is. But without further ado, Joe Quazala.
Hi, so if the sound is bad, I'm going to say, Tom, if you can come back on, I'm going to give you what you need to do. But it sounds good. We're solid. Okay, awesome. If it gets bad, Tom, you just come back up here and I'll type what I need you to do, because what I'm gonna do is something that is very visual as opposed to audio. And we're gonna play a little game called Sad Cartoon, Silly Cartoon, which is where I am going to show you guys real comic strips that were published in the newspaper. And I'm going to take it up to the last panel. And then before the last panel, you guys are going to have to guess whether you think it's going to wind up being sad or whether you think it's going to wind up being silly. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Great. Okay. So we've got this here. And all right, I'm going to go ahead and start with the first panel. We have Marvin. All right, this is a little baby comic strip about a baby who sucks his thumb and has a baby thoughts and adventures. All right, first panel, he's playing with his blocks. Second panel, he's he's stacking his blocks. Now at this point, do you guys think it is going to be a sad cartoon or a silly cartoon? Make your predictions and your guesses in your head. And now I'm going to reveal the last panel, which is it's a 9/11 cartoon. The baby is commemorating the fallen heroes of September 11th, 2001. All right, so that one was sad, obviously. Let's take a look at the next one. Beetle Bailey, classic, about the armored forces. There's Beetle, you never see his eyes because he's lazy or something. All right, first panel, you got an old guy saying, I think coloring my hair will make me look younger. We've got presumably his wife saying, dyeing your bald spot won't look younger. Okay, and this is the last panel before the final one. So take your guesses. Is it going to be sad? Is it going to be silly? And let's take a look. Was my man. It was silly. He's putting his hat on backwards, and he's ready to go probably use the word homie in a kind of potentially problematic way. Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. Dogs of Sea Kennel. Admittedly, a comic strip that I am not familiar with, but I assure you it is real. Let's take a look at the first panel. It's a beautiful day to fly. We got a bird talking to a dog. Next panel, I'll be back. Got to do something. And then the bird is picking the flower. You can tell he's picking it because it says pick there next to the little animation. And then here's the last panel. Where is he going? Probably to meet some girl. Okay, once again, think about it. Do you think this is going to be sad or silly? Make your wagers. I'm in Las Vegas right now. Maybe put some money on it in the spirit of that. And final panel. Oh, gosh. It's 9/11 again. He's laying a flower on the grave of United 93. The entire plane. The whole thing. They have a grave for it. I presume the plane is buried under the ground. And also, hey, Pittsburgh, not super far from Somerset County. So repping the B-sides of 9/11. Very exciting. All right, here we go. Here's the last cartoon. Big Nate. He's a little boy. And, sometimes he is looking in the mirror. Sometimes he's playing baseball. Sometimes he's dancing. Sometimes he's holding a test from school. Let's take a look. This is sweet. Building a sandcastle, kiddies? Something like that. Seems like perhaps this fella is a bully coming up on Big Nate and the boys. Better look out, scrubs. I might just knock it over. And Big Nate's like, no, you won't. And, this bully is so confident. He's like, yeah, well, I'll come back later, and we'll see about that. And Big Nate says, fine. Maintaining some confidence, especially in the, this is a bully. He's taller than him. It's pretty, I'm impressed with his confidence. Why does he think this bully won't knock over the sandcastle? So this is the last panel. So make your wagers, make your bets. Predictions. Will it be sad? Will it be silly? And let's take a look at that final panel. Yep, 9/11 again. He built the World Trade Centers out of sand, and he knows that the bully will not knock them over because of terrorism. So that they were mostly all about 9/11. All the cartoons ultimately were, except for one, about 9/11. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that comic strips are weird, and why did they do this? They're stuck in a different time, and if they have to ever acknowledge something that happened in the contemporary world, they're unable to do it. So I think that's it for me. Thank you guys for having me again. I hope that you guys could hear me the whole time, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Sunrise.
Oh, this is actually DSA, but common mistake.
Oh.
Also, Joe, I've been keeping track. I don't know if you're still watching, but I've been keeping track, and all of the sets that you've done for my shows have involved 9/11. It's 3 for 3.
It affected a lot of us. All right.
It did. Never forget, says Joe in the chat. I agree. Okay, so I got some other housekeeping to do. I want to give you an update. We have had 31 donations so far. Is yours one of them? If it's not, why not? Because like I said, the cool kids are doing it, and you want to be cool. Speaking of things the cool kids are doing, and this is actually not a bit, and this isn't one of those bits where I say it's not a bit. This is actually not a bit. I know, Abby. Just give me a second. I gotta do this because I'm fucking mad. I'm really, 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 really mad about a lot of stuff today. And there's 2 things in particular. Today in particular, one of them is there's a bill in the United States Senate right now that would guarantee clean electricity for all Americans, which is way more than you would ever expect anything from the U.S. Senate to do. So, of course, they're trying very hard not to. Now, Pittsburgh DSA would really like them to do that. But the only way to get them to do this is to be a gigantic pain in their asses. So we have been organizing, maybe you saw this, but DSA and Sunrise, thank you, Joe, for shouting out Sunrise. We do love them. And I'm a member of both orgs, but like whatever. Anyway, we organized an action where we did a wide awake, like making noise at 5 a.m. outside Joe Manchin's lobbyist daughter's house in the early hours of the morning. And it got passed around on Twitter by like Alan Tudyk, who I'm now name dropping. But anyway, it was awesome. More shit like that, please. If you don't, though, if you watching this don't have time to go to Heather Brush's like multi-million-dollar mansion, the mansion's mansion, at 5:30 in the morning, you still want to do something, well, boy, have I got news for you. Right on this page where you're watching this, Pittsburgh DSA PAC's website, pghdsapac.org, if you're somehow not already on the page, /Solidarity Ensues, the name of the show. You scroll down to the bottom of that there page, and it says, click here in a big red button, click here to call your federal reps to insist that they guarantee clean electricity for all Americans. That links you to a call script. It tells you exactly what to do. If you've got 5 minutes, do that on Monday, please. They will only do this if we are incredibly annoying. So, Abby, are you going to use that call script on Monday?
I'll use it on Sunday and Monday, and then Tuesday, even if it's too late.
It will never be too late to annoy your senator. It's always a good time to annoy your senator. So that's one thing that made me mad. Another thing that made me mad, there was a guy who there was a woman. This was in Pittsburgh. This was really recently. There was a woman who put a bike out for a yard sale and it didn't sell, and so she was just going to give it away for free. And then some guy named Jim Rogers took it out for a ride and returned it, had the cops called on him, and they tased him to death over a free bike that he put back. This is so fucked up. And this stuff just shouldn't happen. And I don't even have a joke here. I'm just mad. It's like, I want everybody on this call to remember that this stuff matters. Like, policy matters. The amount of money that you give cops matters. And all of that is at stake here. This isn't the only thing. You shouldn't just do a silly comedy show and give money. You should also be out in the streets demanding change. You should be looking up what it means. Like, you should be learning about abolition. This is all part of a much bigger fight. But these events nonetheless can make a difference. I always like to remind folks that after the first one of these fundraisers that I did for Sunrise, Xander, who is also endorsed by DSA, won their race for district magistrate by 39 votes and is on track to become the first non-binary judge in American history. So anyway, we want to do more of that. Sorry for the angry stuff, but like this is important, and this is something that we talked about behind the curtain at DSA. Is like, we want to talk about these things tonight, and we don't want to turn them into jokes. So anyway, I think it's probably good that I'm not going to have a comedian follow us on that one. Next up, we're going to go to Connor Mulvaney. Connor Mulvaney is, oh, hi, Connor. I'm going to still do your intro, but you don't have to start talking right away. So Connor is a candidate for Pittsburgh City Council. So when we're talking about police budget, this is something that Connor can act on. And Connor, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that issue. But also, before we get to Connor's bit, we had a problem with the payment processor. So if you're giving through our Action Network page, Connor won't be able to receive funds from that. Now, we did put a button there. So if you go to our PAC website, PGHDSAPAC, so PittsburghDSAPAC.org/Solidarity Ensues, there's a big red button directly under the video. You don't have to scroll down. So right there under the video, it says, and click here to contribute to Connor's campaign. My ask right now, if you gave earlier, that was received by Anita. It was received by DSA. It was received by Jacob. But Connor's campaign is also very important. So please take a moment during his remarks or right now or later in the show and throw him $20, throw him $100, throw him 100,000, but throw him whatever you want to throw him. But anyway, that's my speech. Thanks, Abby, for hanging on while I pontificated. And Connor, I'll pass you the mic now.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. And I kind of prepared something tonight, but I think before I jump into that, I just want to acknowledge too that Jim Rogers should still be alive, and what happened to him is inexcusable, and our city failed him. The situation that happened with testing out a bike certainly doesn't require a police response. Jim Rogers had other needs that the city wasn't providing, and instead of going and test riding a bike. He was met with hostility, and his life was ended because of it. And so, my sympathies, my campaign team sympathies, go to his family. It's horrible, and something that I hope to do as a city council person is to be able to provide more resources and create a kinder city for people who are houseless, and anybody that has a need. We need to protect our neighbors, as a few of us have touched on. We all do better when our neighbors do better. I firmly believe that. But to get into everything else in our campaign, if you haven't heard of me before, my name is Connor Mulvaney. I'm running for Pittsburgh City Council in District 4, which includes wonderful places like Beachview, Bon Air, Brookline, Carrick, Overbrook, and a little itty bitty slice of Mount Washington. If you watch our Instagram closely, if you have heard of us, you might have seen the dispatches from door knocking post from yesterday, featuring a photo of me in Carrick with Bigfoot. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's incredible. Shortly after this cryptid encounter, a neighbor stopped me and asked me what I was doing. He said he looks out for everyone in the neighborhood, especially the older folks on the block. And he initially thought I was selling something or running some sort of weird scam. And when I told him I was running for Pittsburgh City Council, he says, "Wow, we haven't had a city council candidate knock doors down here since John Cusick." And at first I was like, wait, what? For others who might need to brush up on Pittsburgh City Council District 4 history, John Cusick ran for city council in 1993, which was the year that I was born. So this guy was saying that this block in Carrick hasn't had a city council candidate knock their doors in my lifetime. It seems absurd, but anyway, naturally, my next thought was, when was the last time that anybody saw Bigfoot? Because I bet we find evidence of Bigfoot more than we see Anthony Coghill knocking doors. And I did the research, and I was totally right. According to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, the last Bigfoot report in Pennsylvania was April 11th, 2020, from Raccoon Township in Beaver County. Before then, it was March 2018 in Jefferson County, and before that, it was November 2017 in Northampton County. So this creature has been on the run for 50 years, trying desperately to escape humanity's gaze, and yet he makes contact with a broader audience than my opponent. But aside from where Bigfoot has been, where in the fuck has Anthony Coghill been? Because just like Bigfoot has squatchers, there's been people who've been trying to get in touch with Anthony Coghill about housing, about flooding, water quality, road conditions, safe streets, public safety, a whole host of issues. And yet he's yet to have been cited doing anything about any of these things, any of these issues. And that's why your donation tonight is so important for our campaign. We have to spread the word to let people know we care about these issues just like they do. My neighbors can put away their binoculars and giant butterfly nets and rest knowing we're working for them and not working for developers, corporations, or some little political club. Every cent that this campaign receives helps us knock more doors and make more phone calls. So please help DSA help Anita, help DSA help Jacob, and help DSA help myself to create a Pittsburgh that works for all of us. And thanks especially to DSA for putting on this awesome show. Thanks to Anita and Jacob for being incredible people and incredible candidates. And thanks to all of our friends who are making the show actually fun to watch. And thanks everybody for joining us. And thank you especially, Tom.
And Abby. Yes. Thanks, Connor, and thank you also for speaking so eloquently and passionately about that issue. So, I actually can't track donations that are coming into Connor because I don't have access to his campaign's forms. So people could have given. How much do you think people gave, Abby? Do you think they gave $1 million?
I think they gave $750.
Cool. I mean, that would be great. If you didn't give to Connor yet, please take this opportunity to do so. That's a really important campaign. And we're going to try to transform this city one district at a time. We got to do the work. There are lives at stake. So another thing I wanted to note is if you're watching this and you're like, wow, there's so many fucked up things about this city. Abby, are you thinking that? Are you thinking like, wow, there's a lot of things that are fucked up?
It hadn't escaped my notice.
Yeah. So there are other things you can do other than watching this show and clicking the or clicking the donate link. I got ahead of myself there. Did you see that? I said click the volunteer link. So also on that page, because everything is on that page. Everything is on that wonderful page, pghdsapac.org/solidarity-ensues, which I'm now realizing is literally displayed at the bottom of this YouTube stream. So I don't need to keep reading it. But if you go there, there are links to volunteer. And it is simple stuff. It is phone banking, text banking, knocking on doors. It's really just talk to people. Abby is there's vastly different energies going on at different sides of the screen. No, but you have to do this. Anyway, you have to make this fun because otherwise it's just sad. It's just
I
like,
wasn't trying to interrupt you, Tom. I was trying to enhance.
What's that?
I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was trying to enhance your blurb.
It was
volunteer links.
It was making it so much better. It was making it more palatable. You have to laugh so that you don't cry. And you got to volunteer so you change it so that good things start happening. So anyway, go to the website, click the volunteer link, and start showing up. Knock on your doors, talk to your neighbors. Some of them will be cool. Some of them will be weirdos like me and Abby. And if you get
knock on the doors and say, "Hello."
You're like, so I just spent a weekend with my 4-year-old niece, and it was not that different from this. Although it actually wasn't. I've learned this. I have all of the same interests as a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds like dinosaurs. They like trains. They like animals. They think farts and poop are hilarious. Like I have everything in common with a 4-year-old. I can talk to a 4-year-old all day. Anyway,
you should get her on to co-host next time.
Oh, that's actually a really good
I
idea.
would pay to watch that.
So she should have been on last show. Last show we had a guest on, for those who were there. Last show we had a guest on who was like a wildlife expert, and she was like talking about salamanders specifically. And my niece is fucking obsessed with salamanders. Like we went outside this cabin, and I found her 10 salamanders, and I thought that was going to be good enough. And she was like, now 20. And I'm like, okay, let's find 20. By God, we did. We found 20 salamanders. If you're curious what kind, they were red-backed, spotted, and slimy. Those are actually three different species names. They have very descriptive names. But anyway, up next, do you want to introduce our next guests?
Our next guests are Kate Raft and Joan Haley Ford. You've seen them on TV. You've seen cartoon episodes of TV shows, cartoons they've written. You've seen, I don't know if they've done live action. You've seen cartoons for sure, and probably also live stuff. They're superstars, the TV stars. You're gonna love it. In many senses, you're going to see two comedians who will change your life. In many other senses, you will not. But in the senses that matter, you will. And I'm just excited. It's been like 2 years since I've seen Kate. I still need to edit the thing that I had them performing in.
Return the books that you borrowed.
Return the books that I borrowed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pay back that 20.
Yeah. From
yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited to see what they put together.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. Best intro we've ever done. In many ways, we are comedians that will change your life. But in a lot of ways, we're not
going to at all.
Yeah.
No.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here. Thanks for having us, DSA Pittsburgh. It's an honor to be here. Thanks, Solidarity Ensues. Everybody, please give these candidates your money. Okay, give your cold hard cash because this is an important cause and we're so honored to be here.
Open up your wallet or pocketbook.
Yeah.
Take
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, your mic isn't in your mouth.
I know.
We gotta fix this. Sorry, everybody.
Sorry. This is all.
Say something.
Oh, I'm talking. I am talking while you fix the mic. Yeah, just donate. Open up your wallet. Open up your pocketbooks. But most importantly, open up your hearts.
Okay, everybody.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Raft, and this is Joan
Hello.
Haley Ford, and we are so excited to be here, not just because of the cause, but because it's officially our favorite time of year. Okay, it's fall.
Oh, yeah.
Who here loves fall?
Hey, sound off in the chat
Yeah.
if you love
Sound
fall.
off in the chat if you love fall.
Yeah, give some fall some love. You know what?
Put an F in the chat if you love fall. Okay.
Put a FF if you fuck with fall.
Yeah. Put F if you fuck with fall. And you're freaky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we love. Okay. Yes. I'm
put
seeing not a lot of chat action.
No,
I'd
it's
like
okay.
to see
chat
a little
action.
bit more.
Put it in FFFF and just make the fourth F whatever you want. Make it yours.
Yeah. I'd like. Okay. There we go. There we go.
Thank
there
you. We got
go.
one
Okay.
F.
Okay. Maybe there's like a little delay. I don't know. But now I'm seeing the
Ooh,
F's. I'm
yes,
seeing the F's in the
yes.
chat. Okay.
Okay. You know what? Like we were saying, we love
fall.
and we love our mics peaking. But
oh yeah. Sorry.
it's
Sorry.
peak fall. It's peak mics.
You like
but-
it too. You like when our mics peak too, don't
love
you?
it. Unfortunately, like, okay, tell me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't really feel like fall. Like, we're in LA. It's 90
hot
degrees in the
today.
middle of complete middle of October.
Yeah. Thanks to global warming.
Thank you, global warming.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. We love what you're doing with the place,
Yeah.
global warming.
More like not.
No notes.
More like not. We hate you.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a
And
joke.
actually, it's really rude of you
we
to be
do have
warming.
We do have notes
Climate
for global
change.
warming.
We have notes. We have
I know.
Notes.
We have notes for you, global warming.
But you know what? We are fall experts, and we're going to actually help all of you get into the spirit of fall, okay?
Yeah, it's easy. All you have to do is submit to fall.
Yeah. That's right. We're fall dominatrixes.
That's what these gloves mean.
Okay, we're fall doms, and you are our little fall submissives. You're our fall subs.
You're our harvest whores.
Yeah, you're our little pumpkin piggies. Oh yeah, you're my little pumpkin piggy. Come on, piggies, oink for your pumpkin.
Well,
Oink for it. Yeah, I want to hear you oink for your little pumpkin, you little pumpkin piggies. Oink for it.
Kate, you know the rule. Come on, all is good and fun, but you know the rules. Before we can engage in autumn erotic asphyxiation.
Oh, really good job.
Yeah, it's not a joke. It's something. It's a real thing I engage in.
We have to ask for consent before we do
of
start.
course, yeah.
Consent is very important. So everybody in the chat, do you all consent that it is fall right now?
Type C if you consent.
Type C if you consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Type
C if you consent that it is fall right now.
I'm going to assume people are. I'm just going to assume people are typing C's.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just
a
waiting.
bit of a
Just
delay.
there's a
Yeah, no, I
delay.
see
It's
C.
fine.
I
Okay,
see
great.
C.
Okay, great.
Acty, dacty in the chat. So.
And hey, do you consent that fall is the best season? Give us another C if you consent to that.
Yeah, okay. See if you consent
Great.
that fall is the best season. Okay, I'm seeing C's. I'm seeing C's. Okay, and do you consent that liking fall actually kind of makes you an interesting person?
And also like hot, like really hot.
Like people who like fall are weirdly hot.
Do you consent that we are hot?
Do you consent that we're hot?
Do you consent
Type a C.
Type C if you consent that we're hot.
Type C if you consent that we're hot.
Yes.
Type C if you consent that we're hot. And also, do you consent that this bit about consent is totally fine? You know, we're not canceled for doing a bit about consent because, you know, we're like, we do believe, like, this isn't, like...
This is
We're not making fun of, like,
you're in on the joke.
You consent that we're not problematic for this bit.
Yeah, so give us a C for consent, but then an NC for not cancel.
Not cancel,
But if you don't,
So give us a C and an NC for
Z,
not canceled.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I think we've been through. We did it. We did
Okay,
it.
great. Well, it's always important to get the consent, so I'm glad we did that.
And it's important to know that if you get uncomfortable, we can stop being your fall doms at any time.
Yeah, we can stop whenever you
Anytime.
want.
You're in control. All you have to do is type the safe phrase.
Yeah, so some people have a safe word. We have a safe phrase. So listen carefully. This is going to be the safe phrase. Okay, ready?
Ready?
Oh, mommy, the Sears catalog just came. I'm going to circle all the toys I want from Santa. Okay, so just type that in the chat.
Exactly.
And we will stop being fall dogs.
So
okay.
just,
should we say it one more time?
I don't think we.
No,
I think they got it.
Just type it in the chat if you need it.
Yeah, you know.
You remembered it, right?
We can do it. Okay.
You know, if you're at home, say it with us, okay?
Yeah,
if you're sing along. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, mommy, the Sears catalog just came. I'm gonna circle all the toys I want from Santa. That's how you know fall's over.
Great.
The Sears catalog came,
perfect.
and then you
Okay,
circle
so
all the Jurassic Park toys you want.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Now we can get down to business. All right. Which of you pigs want to get your pumpkins squashed?
Yeah, which one of you little piggies want to get your apples squished into cider?
Who wants us to turn their green leaves brown and then crunch, crunch, crunch all over them with our big fall boots from LL Bean?
Yeah, we love LL
We
Bean.
love LL Bean so fall.
Who wants to get whipped?
All right, come on, raise your hand in the chat if you want to get
Who
whipped.
wants to get whipped?
Who wants to get
Who wants to get whipped? Raise your hand if you want to get whipped, right? An H for hand if you want to get whipped, okay? Because a big part of being a dom is whipping, okay? So we're going to fucking whip your...
We're gonna
whip your ass. I mean, you know, we're going to whip you.
We're gonna whip you. There you go. Everybody.
Whip. You've been whipped.
You've been whipped.
You've all been whipped.
You got a PSL with whipped cream on top.
We whipped you.
We whipped you.
This is us whipping you. We whipped you.
We whipped you.
And guess what? It's a hot pumpkin spice latte. Okay, it's none of that iced
No,
PSL
no.
shit because it's fall.
It's a
okay?
hot.
Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but we did get the same phrase in the chat.
What?
Nathan Kopp. Says,
Nathan Kopp. Okay, Nathan Kopp.
Kopp says, "Ooh, mommy, the Sears catalog just came in. I'm gonna circle all the toys I want from Santa." Oh, Nathan didn't say the word that I want from Santa.
Yeah. So that's
it's
just
fine.
part of the role. That's part of the game.
Part of the,
yeah.
So,
you get, yeah.
So we don't have to stop. Okay,
Yes.
great. You're about to say that we. All the toys that I want.
All the toys I want.
I want from Santa.
That I want.
So actually, we're so fine. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're back in. So you've just been whipped. This is a hot PSL, and you fucking liked it. Okay.
Yeah.
You
no
drink
iced
hot.
coffee.
You drink hot coffee in the fall, you little piggies. You drink hot coffee in the fall, you little piggies.
Ooh, yeah. What about sweaters? Ooh, you know it's fall. All you chilly piggies should be wearing your sweaters to keep warm.
Totally.
But do you think, Kate? Do you think they're wearing their sweaters?
I don't think the audience is wearing enough sweaters. Like, I know you're in Pittsburgh.
I've got a sweater.
But I feel like you're just not wearing a sweater. So we're going to have to make them put their sweaters on.
I've got a sweater right here. It's got a skeleton on it. Perfect for fall.
Why don't you put this on, you little piggies?
Put this on. Come on, everyone.
Put on your sweater.
Put on your sweater. You put on the sweater, and then we're going to point and laugh at you while you put on that sweater.
Okay, except for actually, instead of laughing when the audience puts their sweaters on, let's say nice things about how we want them to stay warm so they don't catch a cold.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, okay. Oh, let's do that. That's nice. Come on. Hey, come on, piggies. It's chilly out. Put on your nice warm sweater. We don't want you to miss the Halloween dance, the big Halloween dance.
Okay, now everybody type something nice in the chat about how everyone else looks in their sweaters.
Type nice compliments to each other.
Type like you look so cute in your sweater.
Yeah.
Type you look so cute in your sweater, and then I want you to read that and receive it. Okay, you little piggy. You little piggy. You look so nice in your sweater, you little piggy.
You look so nice. They look so nice.
Yeah, we want to see the chat overflowing with positive fall affirmations.
Let's do
it. Tell everybody that they look good in their sweaters.
Be nice to each other.
Right. You look good in your sweater in the chat. Okay. Right. You look good in your sweater.
Right. Yeah.
And press it and put it in
send
the chat.
it.
I'll wait.
And if you want to compliment us too for our looks,
Okay, Acty Dacty has said everyone looks good in their sweaters.
Everyone does look good.
Everyone does look good in their sweater.
Ooh, someone put on a comfy hoodie, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay. Everyone does look good. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Nathan says you look so comfy in your hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
Acty Dacty says the person below this comment looks good in their sweater.
Oh, very nice.
VVVVV. Which I think is pointing down to the next person
whoever
says
texted.
something.
So that
Stunning cardigans, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you,
Beautiful
cardigans.
Hogman.
Acty Dacty thinks beautiful Hogman looks good in their sweater.
Yeah, we love.
We love
sweaters.
We love sweaters. We love fall.
We love fall.
We love pumpkins. We love going to see a scary movie at the movie house.
Well, that's been our Dom session. Our time is up because we are very expensive.
Yes, but you know what? I think, Kate, they've all been such good little pumpkin piggies. I think as a special reward, we're going to let all of you come tonight.
Yeah, you can all come with us to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in LA. Okay, even if you live in Pittsburgh, you got to get on a plane and come
you're
with
invited.
us.
You're invited
it's like
to
a
come.
Theme park. It's
yes.
like, if you don't live in LA, it's like a theme park.
It's like a theme park. You
and
see
they do
Five-O lives there.
Yeah. And you have to come with us. But if you do come, you have to protect us from Chucky.
We're scared of Chucky. He's small and rude, and he called us a bitch once.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for having us, everybody. Please
donate.
Please donate to the link below us right here.
Consider that an extra Dom directive.
Yeah, now we're doing FinDom, and we financially Dom you into donating to this important cause.
And these
Thank
are
you
great
so much.
candidates.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you both. Thank you.
Abby, they changed my life.
I need an adult.
I think we just had several. We raised another $50. We're at 350, and that doesn't count anything that Connor has received during this show, which better be buckets and buckets of cash. Abby, how much have you donated?
It's true what they say. FinDoms are great. I've donated $700, but it probably hasn't shown up yet because the check is in the mail.
That's right. That's
just
right.
like
Abby
my pal Al Burton, Tim Burton, Jack Burton.
I don't know who you're
from Big Trouble in Little China. He's like, the check is in the. Oh, never mind.
I think that's
Solidarity ensues, people. An evening of comedy, politics, and vague sexual menace.
So, yes, please go donate to Connor. As a reminder, you got to do that separately through our website. Go and click on the link that says, click here to contribute to Connor's campaign. I know it's a very confusing button, and you're like, what happens if I click here? It's how you contribute to Connor's campaign. Anyway, sorry, that was a very intense bit. You folks are funny as hell. Okay, so next up, we have a musical guest. We're going to shift gears a little bit here. I always like to give people a moment to, breathe. That's what you do this when you breathe. Did you know that, Abby? That if you need to breathe, you just go.
I thought it was like a Tai Chi for people who can't really move their arms. It's like it's just your hands.
Mm-hmm. There's that too. I mean, I can move my arms, but you can't see this, right? Like I'm juggling right now.
As far as I know, you can't move your arms.
Yeah. So, but if I do it up here, see.
Hey, I'm glad you got better.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, next up we have.
Hey, Tom. Before we do the intro, how about this?
Before we do the intro,
you talk without moving your hands, and I'm gonna gesture with my hands.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
To follow what you're.
Okay. So, next up, we have Mike Stout. He is a musician and a radical who's been fighting this fight for a very long time and is a really, really, really good singer. So, Zach, you want to grab his video from my, like that, exactly like that. No, not that one. That's. I'm sorry.
What is that?
To all you young activists out there and progressive people, I just want to say what an honor it is to come here and sing on behalf of these two young pioneers who are attempting to take our struggles inside the walls of political power. And Connor, this is my honor. Anita, I've been telling Anita for 3 years we need to get an army behind her and behind Bethany and behind Liv, and we need to go to county council and let them know we mean business. And the reason I'm doing this benefit and the reason I'm singing for you is, Connor, Anita, I know you think just like I do. We need a new system. People losing homes, people going bankrupt, people slipping over the edge, people all alone, people down on their luck, people stranded on a dangerous ledge, people going hungry, people out of work, people with no health care, people getting angry, people going berserk, people getting crazy everywhere. Something's gotta change, this can't keep going on. With so much pain, there's something major wrong. Better change our mode of thinking, the whole ship is sinking. Plant a new seed, I think we're gonna need a new system. We need a new system, a whole nother system. This old one's gotta go, oh yeah. Polar caps are melting from the greenhouse gas. Millions of species disappear. Hurricanes are belting, deadly tornadoes blast. Floods, droughts, forest fires bigger every year. Fossil fuel machines raging out of control. Incinerate their poison in the air. Nuclear waste with nowhere to go. Deadly cancer spreading here and everywhere. Mother Earth is screaming, cast out the demons. It's way too late for some useless debate. She's trying to warn us, a storm is coming toward us. If the children are gonna breathe, I think you're gonna need a new system. We need a new system, a whole nother system. This old one's gotta go, oh yeah, it's gotta go. They want us brain dead in a bubble unaware, oblivious, confused, disconnected, full of fear. But I know there's something better than the system here today. If we put our hearts together, we can find a better way. People getting robbed, people getting ripped off. People getting deeper in debt. People getting clobbered, people getting pissed off. And the worst ain't even here yet. Record-setting gaps between rich and poor. Working masses trapped in an economic war. We better change some minds, we're running out of time. Plant a new seed, I think we're gonna need a new system. A whole nother system. We need a new system, a whole nother vision. We need a new system, a whole nother vision, a fundamental transition. Some call it socialism. We need a new system. This old one's gotta go. Oh, yeah, it's gotta go. Oh, it's gotta go. Oh, yeah, it's gotta go. I don't know about you people out there, but I'm here to tell you right now, we need a new system. Ho!
I liked when he went wugga 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 wugga.
Yeah, he can really rock. I heard him at there was this awesome climate strike in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, and he played, and I was like, I gotta have that exact same energy in our show.
That's great.
So yeah,
What was his name again?
Mike
So I
Stout.
can Google.
Mike
Mike
Stout. Mike Stout Music on Twitter. I don't know if he's updating that. So as one last reminder, remember Connor can't get donations through the form, so you got to go to Connor's website. I know everybody's sick and tired of hearing me say it, but we have raised $370 that I can track from 33, I think, donors. Which is great. And then we have whatever has gotten into Connor's coffers as well. So I think about $10 million we've raised tonight. I think think it's really going to make a difference. I can do that too. Everybody's tuning out. like what's going on here?
I was so excited to have Topher Florence on here.
Yeah.
And then he had technical problems and can't make it tonight. But I did prepare some interview questions just in case of this eventuality. And I can sort of channel Topher. He's a very cyberpunk sort of individual. Anyone who knows Topher's work is aware of it. He's sort of this very media savvy. He lives in the media dimension alongside of Gex, the cartoon gecko from the hit video game Gex.
From Geico commercials.
From the commercials, yeah. Played by
my car insurance. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so I can channel him and provide a brief interview with him now as a space filler to make up for the fact that he's gone. If you're amenable to that. I prepared my questions for the interview here, and I can sort of okay.
Do you need me to do anything? Should I
no? In fact, it's ideal if it's just people paying attention to me and thinking, "Gosh, Abby's great." That's sort of my ideal tone for these gigs. And frankly, I don't know why we have guests because I could do this all night. Okay.
This is I've told you before. This is a thinly veiled excuse to hang out with you, and then also collect some money on the side. But that's really just pretext, because this is the only way that people will spend time with me. Is I'm like, hey, we need to do a comedy fundraiser, and they're like, yeah, of course, for a good cause, right? For socialism, and I'm like, yes, for socialism, and not just for my personal life.
Oh,
that's a joke, though.
I was going to ask you earlier, and I got it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask, is Tom short for anything?
Actually, I'm quite tall.
Would you ever kneel and put your shoes on your knees and sort of pretend to be short
as a bit,
for anything?
As a bit? Yeah. I did that a minute ago. I went down like this and pretended not to have any arms.
That's right. That's right.
Literally 10 minutes ago. But you should do your interview. I'm looking forward to your interview with Topher.
Well, I also forgot to do the other half of Is Tom Short for Anything, which is the nickname for Tom is Tuh. And I was going to spend the whole show calling you Tuh. And it would have been great. Everyone would have been like, ha.
You forgot to let's go back and edit it in right now. Just say the word "to" 20 times. I'll go back and I'll edit it in.
Ta.
All right,
I've
got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Type.
This is just to make up for Topher. Topher, we're gonna still upload this as a video on demand of just interviewing Topher Florence. Because I was so excited. Topher is the bet. He did a video called Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Special Edition, which is a game that doesn't exist, where he just added Steve Urkel, and he opened every video with a prayer. And I highly recommend it if you're ever really bored. It's great stuff. It's great. Look him up. He's great. So here's my interview with Topher, channeling his spirit. Hi, Topher. Thanks for being here tonight. Hello. Tell me, Topher, is Topher short for anything? Tophercles. That's great, Topher. That's great, Topher. Hey, Topher, what's your favorite video game? That would be Magical Quest 2, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. They can turn into firemen and Ghostbusters in that one. It's a great game. You're right. That is a great game. It's 2-player, isn't it? Yes, it's 2-player. Would you like to play it with me right now? Would I ever? Well, too bad. We have a show to put on. Let me tell you. I was just watching the Disney film Tarzan. That's a great film, isn't it? It's okay. Now, pardon me for the audio quality of my bit here, Abby. I have a potato chip addiction, and I'm loudly crinkling the potato chip bags, just like Joe was doing earlier in the show. How did he know? It can't have been written ahead of time.
How did he know?
Oh, and here's the closer question. Ha 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 ha. We're friends, Abby. You're my friend.
So for
You're
those
my
of you,
friend too, Topher. I love you, man.
did we explain that Topher's laptop died, or did we just do this whole bit without explaining that?
I just said technical difficulties.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, I couldn't remember. I'm like pumped full of endorphins. I had no idea what is happening or where I am. Anyway,
it was the dominatrices. They got the plural wrong. I was so mad.
Oh, yeah.
It's like matrices. Matrix. John Matrix from the Predator sequel, John Matrices.
So we'd have $410. So there is one more update on Abby's journey to space, which we did kind of accidentally already put on the screen. But that's fine. We won't do it yet. We're going to do it at the end when we cross $500. We will show you what Abby has been doing with her time on the moon. And in the meantime, my dear friend James Ashby has come to talk to us. He's written a set. It's very topical. It's about climate change and why climate change is important, and income inequality, and why income inequality is important. So it's a very topical set, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey! Friends, oligarchs, job creators, welcome to the 20th Annual Climate Wars Symposium. As you know, we've made great strides this year in the eradication of bird species, plankton, and large swaths of the Midwest. Go tornadoes! Our military industrial relatives are prepping for the famine wars now, and ROI looks ready to fly. Say, that reminds me, who else finds it hard to get good staff for their private jets? Mine keep trying to slip off their exploding collars, which is why I bought myself some robot dogs. They'll kill servants no matter what little tricks they play. Speaking of tricks, who here is invested in the stock market? Oh, me too. Now, who's ready for a big rug pull that cancels out half the retirement savings of the country and secures a new elderly workforce for selling fried chicken sandwiches and scrubbing toilets? They don't even see it coming. Their kids are going to work till they die. But they'll never own their own homes. Am I right? I'm right. But enough about the poor. Let's talk about us. Come on, rich people, give yourself a round of applause. I assume no millionaires are clapping right now. Millionaires are the fake Rolexes of wealth. Well, now, who here is buying up hundreds of homes at historically low interest rates because inflation is about to make an entire generation of Americans pay more than 50% of their income on rent until they die? Who's with me? Oh, yeah! Never gonna update the ventilation or plumbing.
James, I think there's been a misunderstanding. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you are interrupting me in the middle of my set. So this is highly irregular. I feel very uncomfortable right now. I didn't even get to my denouement.
It's just a miscommunication.
What's a denouement?
No, Abby, I'm trying to tell
that's
James
rich
something
person
important.
for the end.
So, yes,
I call it a
denouement. I wanted to let you know that we are this event is actually anti-climate change and anti-wealth inequality. I think there has been some kind of
I don't understand. Why
here.
would you have an event for anti-wealth inequality? That there's no wealth to be had there, Tom. You understand? In wealth inequality, the people with the wealth are for the inequality, right? So if you're trying to make money here, and I assume we're trying to make money as we live in a capitalist society, so the most important thing is the money, then I would reorient your little brain there and start focusing on where the money is. And you know where the money is, Tom? Burning coal for Bitcoin.
I think That's a legitimate argument, and I'll take it under advisement that we could probably make more money as capitalist barons. Mhm.
Hey, Social Security, very hard to cancel, very hard to fund. But if people die, payments stop. So the more we burn for Bitcoin, the more grandmas we burn. Who's with me?
Abby,
He makes some good points. I'm finding myself convinced.
Yeah,
that's right. Let's change this whole thing around. How about instead of what did you say this organization was? The capitalist organization of America?
Anti-capitalist, anti-war, pro people having health care. Just
it's
generally.
A very long name. You can't fit it on T-shirts.
Oh yes.
It sounds like you want us to be New Zealand or something. Why would?
Oh, heaven forbid.
Do you want us to end up like Norway, where everybody's comfortable and rides bicycles? Tom, how are we going to build giant SUVs that burn coal literally just to make the smoke plume if everybody's comfortable and safe? Do you understand what you would be doing to the world if people didn't have a gun to their head every single day? Who would make my milkshakes for too little money?
There's a Flannery O'Connor story to that effect, Tom. I think you do well to read it.
That's right. It's sort of, it's O. Henry-esque. You tried to give them money, but in a sense, you took away your milkshakes.
I think at times like these about another story by a person who sounds like they have a connection to Ireland. I'm sorry, I have no idea who you're talking about. But A Modest Proposal.
That's a great documentary. When they ate the Irish children.
Yes, exactly. Yes, the Irish children.
Fine source of meat.
Exactly. It's nutritious. It's got all of your basic vitamins and nutrimites. But I do want us to get back on track here, though, because I was hoping that you would do a set anti-climate change, it is what it is. You came prepared with what you came prepared with.
Tell you what. Let's meet halfway. I've got a little bit here on healthcare. Does that sound?
Sure.
Are you a healthcare fan or an American healthcare fan?
Well,
all right. Here we go.
Okay.
So how long until we start tokenizing the organs of the poor on the blockchain?
All right.
I need to launder money and harvest kidneys.
No. I don't think that's a message either. Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else you can give us?
I mean, you really are.
I know.
You're kind of
I'm
limiting
demanding
me
here.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Well, it's a little. I'm gonna have to go off book now. I'm working off notes at this point. All my gold you threw away like it was trash. So I'm just gonna have to go with what I've got left, which is my comedy 10, so to speak.
All right, the bottom drawer. Let's do it.
I think we can all agree that the only way out of our domestic problems is to pave over the festering wounds in our own culture by blowing up another one or two. I know what you're thinking. I want to bomb China. Wrong. I'm thinking France. Come on, nobody likes snooty Europeans, and we have so much secret cool shit to bring out for World War III.
You know what? I bet you're expecting me or Abby to interrupt you and tell you that that's a bad idea, but you have convinced me.
I'm hoping that you'll agree. I mean, obviously, look, France has a very bad track record with winning wars recently, and, it would be considered, I think, for your weird hippie friends, it's less problematic to bomb a France. So
Absolutely.
Why don't we just embrace it? Look, we're not going to solve our problems by talking them out or giving you money and hope. So why don't we just create a new enemy for you to hate out of snooty French people? What do you say? Could we all get on board with bombing the French? That's what I'd like to end with.
Everything that's said here is an official DSA national foreign policy opinion. Just so you know, this is all democratically decided. This is all binding on the organization tonight. Just so that we're clear.
I am so thrilled that you called it. There was a dirty word, so I won't repeat it. But I'll just
democratic.
I'll use the then two dirty words.
The plutocratic socialists of America.
DS America. And myself. I like to consider myself an Ayn Rand anarcho-capitalist. So I think if we could really join together, who knows what would happen?
I think we would bomb France. I think we
Absolutely.
decided.
Also, we would burn lots of coal for Bitcoin, and you would not have to remember your grandmother's birthday anymore because she's dead and it's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Well, thank you, James, for joining us and providing a view into the other side.
Remember, only donate to this organization if you want your grandmother to live. I can't imagine why you would, but be warned, you will be saving grandmothers with your money, and frankly, you would be better off working with more streaming services. I hear there's one that's only for goldfish and puppies now. Isn't that more important than grandma?
All right. Thanks so much, James.
All right. God bless America, and I'll be sure to visit you when you're all rounded up.
Okay, Zach. Let's there we go. All right.
We live in an era where people are only allowed to be sarcastic if the person listening likes them and decides to allow them the benefit of being sarcastic. So I feel the need to say, just for anyone listening, that was all just a bit. None of it
this
was
is
real.
satire, folks.
It's not good satire.
I
We're
thought it was
trying
pretty
our
good.
best, guys. We're
I
trying
thought it
our
was
best.
pretty good. Hey, we can quantify. Abby, you can literally put a number on how good our satire is, and I'm going to refresh
What
the
is
page.
that number?
It is $470 good.
That's great.
That is actually quite good. We've gotten donations recently from Brianna and Patrick and Jacob and Laura and Stephanie and Nancy. Did I say Stephanie and Nancy already? We're looking at like 37 donations so far tonight. And we're almost done, folks. So I know this has been a long show. We have one more guest. And then that's pretty much that. So if you want us to cross the $500 mark, at which point we will find out what Abby's been up to on the moon, you have one last set to give during.
Our headliner tonight was the headliner at the first show I was ever booked on.
Really? Do you want to do
This
this
has been
introduction?
a real tour. I mean, I'm terrible at introductions.
No, you're on now.
I
You're
feel
in
like
center
the last
stage.
comedy guests were not pleased by my saying, in many ways they'll change your lives. In many ways they won't. They seemed at best indifferent to it. In many ways they liked it. In many ways.
Okay, well we can work
we're
together on this.
depressed at all.
Why don't I
Yes.
say one word of the introduction and then you say
Nationally
the next
touring.
word?
Yes.
Nationally
Okay.
touring.
Great.
So next
Up.
we
Have
a
nationally
touring
celebrity
named
Krish
Moen.
and
It's
gonna
be
terrific.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much. I apologize that I look like a socialist Sith Lord. I just want the Force for everyone. So I just moved into this new space, and my camera doesn't even know what the hell it's doing. So and it got very cold. So and I'm a very skinny individual, which means my body does not retain heat. It just gives it back to the world. I am the most eco-friendly human being that has ever existed, only for the benefit of the planet, not for the benefit of me at all. That's how committed to the cause I am. Okay. I had a whole thing prepared, and then James set happened, and I'm like, maybe capitalism isn't all that bad, right? I mean, we're killing grandmas. That seems pretty solid. And then it seems like most of the species are going to be gone. So that's a positive, I think, for us, because that just means we're more special as God's creatures. So now I don't know what to do. Is my whole world has been flipped upside down. I'm kidding. That was fantastic. And again, if you guys enjoyed any of this stuff, you should definitely donate to the DSA. You guys should donate to these candidates and continue supporting direct action. And I just want to wish everybody a happy Striketober, because we're seeing a fantastic amount of strikes. Is that a thing? a fantastic amount, sure, let's go with it. I'm very excited about it, but I think the general American populace might not be, because I think has been a lot of propaganda against strikes, against labor action, against direct action in general, right? I think America puts a lot of pressure on electoral politics, and I am not a fan of electoral politics. I think direct action is where it's at, and I don't think a lot of people know what strikes are, right? And because of that said propaganda, a lot of people think go along the lines of what corporate media and the billionaire class say. But if you're unaware of what people that strike are asking for, is basic human rights. That's it. That's all they're asking for, right? They're asking for like better pay, better treatment, maybe some cleaning, and fucking jeans on Friday. That's it. I feel like that's like every American right. But if you listen to these billionaires, you think that they're asking for the cosmos itself, right? These billionaires, they just lose their shit every time that the strikes occur, right? These strikers come out and they say, "We want health care," and the billionaires are like, "That is the moon, okay? That is the moon, and you can't do that. I've checked with my accountants. You can't just acquire the moon." And spoiler alert, regardless of whether you build a rocket that looks like a penis or not, you can't fuck the moon either. So you can't do that either, right? And the strikers are like, "Well, we want better pay so that we can keep up with the rising costs of rent, food, and utilities." The billionaires like, that you are asking for the rings of Saturn themselves, okay? You can't do that. What do you think? I'm made out of money? And they're like, well, I mean, kind of, because you made like $24 billion last month alone. So I kind of feel like that's like replacing most of your molecules with cash. Oh, we want corporate transparency too. Well, now you're just asking for Pluto to be a planet, and I can't do that. I am but one man or woman, because greed knows no gender. Very progressive, the greed. So don't forget about that. But I do think that we as a society have an obsession with billionaires, right? I think we have an obsession with billionaires. Even in our pop culture, I'm a big comic book nerd, right? I made a reference at the top of the show. But I do. I think we're kind of obsessed with billionaires in our society, right? In the comic book world, there's always an argument about who the best superhero is going to be, and Batman is always somewhere on the top of that list, right? Now, Batman's alter ego is billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne, and Batman doesn't really have superpowers, but what he does have is prep time. That's what Batman has, right? That's how rich Bruce Wayne is, that he has purchased an intangible constant of the universe. That's how rich he is. My personal favorite superhero is Spider-Man, right? I think Spider-Man is the blue-collar superhero. He grew up in a home with a single mom, right? Single mother, Aunt May. He has 3 different jobs so that he can pay for web fluid and probably also student loans. This dude is going to be in debt for the rest of his life. That is a blue collar superhero right there, right? That is the superhero we want and we need. In fact, not a lot of people know this, but he did. This is not a very popular comic book, but Spider-Man did start a union within the Avengers. But Tony Stark put a kibosh to it, right? He got the Scab Avengers. You got the Average Bulk. He was a part of the Scab Avengers. You had, his vision's okay. It's all right. You had Boar, the Lord of Light Rain, Drizzles, primarily Drizzles is what he was in charge of. Eventually, we had to negotiate, and it wasn't a win. But Tony Stark isn't fucking around with Spider-Man anymore. It showed the power of the working class. That's what we need to see. That's why I'm super psyched about Striketober. That's why I'm psyched to see candidates that actually give a shit. I think we need more candidates like that. We need more people that are willing to back activists, back direct action, back protesters, and not just throw platitudes on Twitter. Donate. That is what needs to happen. If you got a couple bucks to spare, donate that to a cause, to an action, to a mutual aid, to a candidate that is actually going to help people. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for that. Abby, I have minutes to live as there's an Antifa death squad on its way to my location.
They
Because
got those super soldiers.
they have, yeah, super soldiers are bound here right now because I
know you're short on time,
Yeah.
but I thought we should close out Krish's set again, one word at a time. Well,
okay. That
was
great.
wasn't
It
and
it
will
not
be
the
last
time
and
I'm sorry, I don't know what comes after this and.
I just think keeping ands going
Oh,
is
just keep
the core of
just keep a
improv,
one long
but
run on it.
also
Okay, all right,
a
all right, all right, all
humorously
right.
cruel thing to do to you.
Yes. Okay, and I.
That was a great set. I enjoyed it.
Yes, and it was a great set. Yes. So the death squad is on its way though to off me because I spoke out of turn. I have been told through my earpiece, which is located under my sound canceling headphones, that bombing France is not part of DSA's platform, and insisting repeatedly that it was incorrect. So anyway, it was nice knowing you, Abby. But anyway, let's see where we're at on money, because that'll be a nice legacy to leave the world. We are at $484. So folks, we need $16. Well, $16.01 because we're at 483.99. We need $16.01 to cross the moon threshold, as I like to call it, the event horizon, if you will. And now I'm just mad at myself for misusing that astronomical term. But we need to get Abby to the moon, okay? So let's say we've elected Jacob, we've elected Anita, we've elected Connor, we've built socialism. We still haven't landed on the moon, though, and that is really
we have, Tom. We very much have.
You and I specifically, though. Oh,
okay,
he did say he was going there for all mankind. It's too late. We already launched the rocket. The thing is that Abby's rocket at present does not have landing gear.
Oh no, we're hitting turbulence.
Oh no, do you want Abby to survive landing? You better give $16. Someone better give $16. I'm refreshing. People really want you to die, Abby. An impact on the moon. I don't know how to feel about that. Anyway, while I wait for that, there was like
I think it's probably the most glorious death that awaits me out there. I'm unlikely to encounter a better one.
You know, there was like a long tradition in the Soviet Union of really, like, you remember how they sent dogs up into space? I'm sorry, this is a terrible comparison. I'm sorry, I regret it already. I'm just saying they sent them up there.
In many ways, I am a dog.
They sent them up there to not bring them back specifically. And so it was like they were like treated as national heroes, but they also like launched them up there, and then they just stayed there until they burned up in the atmosphere.
Did you ever make it to the Museum of Jurassic Technology when you were out west?
Yes, I did. That was so
they have a whole room dedicated to the Astro dogs.
Yeah. Those dogs are very cool. Anyway, the whole reason I brought this up is because dogs are cool, and so is Abby, and you don't want Abby stranded in space like a Russian space dog. We want to bring her home, so she needs landing gear. So I'm going to check one more time to see if we've got landing gear for her rocket.
It's probably a good time to clarify that this is all pretend, and we're just trying to raise more money for the candidates.
We got to raise the stakes.
I don't want people thinking that they're funding an amateur space program. I worry we've entered a state in history where that's actually like a believable claim.
Okay,
and people are going to come home thinking, what's up with these people?
That has happened, though. Did you know
I'm
about this?
very
With this?
excited for this story. No.
Okay. You got to Google this. Everybody watching got to Google this after you give $16 for Abby's landing gear. But there was a flat earther who was determined to prove that the Earth was flat. This is like in the last couple of years. This isn't like my Soviet space dog story. And he built his own rocket, which is incredibly impressive, right? Like, you would think, like, oh, people who believe in flat Earth, like, what a bunch of doofuses. No, like, that's the thing, though, about conspiracy theories, is you can be very, very smart and still believe utter nonsense. It's not dependent on intelligence at all. So he built this rocket and launched it and immediately died. But he built the rocket. That's the point of the story. So if he had raised $16 more in a comedy fundraiser, maybe he would still be alive to tell us whether or not the Earth is flat. Because the unfortunate thing is he didn't land, so we'll never know, right? We'll never know if the Earth is flat or not.
I don't like all this death comedy we do these days. Even if I don't like someone, I don't want them to die. I want them to be nicer and then agree with me and then bow before my God and worship me and march in my dark army.
I wanted.
I don't like this death comedy.
I agree. I wanted him to land safely. I thought it was a cool idea to build a rocket. I just thought it was a silly reason to do it. And you always want them to land safely, especially so he can say, "Hey, you know what? I saw the curvature of the Earth, and the Earth actually is round. It turns out." Anyway. I'm going to check on our
like a story by Flannery O'Connor or one of those other Irish people, Tom.
Yes, one of those Irish people. So we did get a new donation from Emily. Hey. We are $4.01 short. So Abby now has braking thrusters. She will survive the impact, but if we want,
but I don't have a helmet, so I don't have seatbelts, so I might sort of bump around.
I think you'll be okay, but your precious cargo of china and plates and like little tiny delicate porcelain figurines may be damaged in the landing. So if we raise another $4, all of her china and porcelain.
I went to school with an Oliver china.
All right. Well, I think it's time to show. It's time to show what you've been up to on the moon in the last 2 seconds since we said that you could survive landing. Zach, could you put up the graphic? There we are. All right. Can you tell me what we're looking at here? Because it looks like you've met some locals.
Well, yeah, I've met Tinky. No,
I don't know
Dipsy.
Okay,
I think that's Dipsy.
Mm-hmm. And who's Dipsy's friend?
I think Lala was the yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
And Dipsy's friend is, I like to call him Greenman.
Makes sense.
He's bright green, so he reminds me of the people of my Irish girlfriend, Morgan O'Flaherty's homeland. She was telling me this morning, oh gosh, when you're up on the moon, tell me now, when you're up on the moon, that's what my wife sounds like. That's what she
sounds like. Yeah.
That's what she sounds like.
I'm right there with you.
She had a bottle of whiskey in one hand and a fishing pole in the other hand and like a warm sweater on. And she said, I'm going off down to the enchanted glen to go fishing for leprechauns. So I won't be able to see your launch for your moon unit. But if you see any of me countrymen up there on the moon, give him the what for. And so that's an Irish man in the middle that I'm giving the what. We have a very healthy relationship. I want to be very clear about this. My girlfriend and I, we have a very healthy, normal relationship.
Yes, of course. Nobody is
love each other deeply. Nobody's unhappy.
In fact, nobody brought.
It's okay. It's okay.
I believe you. Yeah.
Generally speaking, you shouldn't have to clarify that apropos of nothing. If you're doing a good job as a human being. And yet I find myself in these situations with astonishing frequency.
So I want to take the conversation back to
the moon.
To the moon, yes. I want to take the conversation back to the moon. Can you tell me what is Moonian society like? What do they take care of the most vulnerable among them? Do they have health care? Do they care about the climate?
Well, as you can see, there's only 2 of them, and now 3 counting me. The most vulnerable of them would probably be Dipsy, being short and childlike.
Yes.
And I guess I am now the most powerful one, but previously it was Greenman, who'd moved to escape the imperialism of the English, obviously.
And yet here you are again.
And yet here we are again. I actually came to round him back up.
Oh no, we've done a colonialism.
I hate it when that happens.
Putting that gun on the suit, that was a mistake. That was what was the purpose of that?
The mistake really was that it doesn't have a safety.
I see.
The whole flight, there was all that turbulence and it was jostling around and it just kept shooting off and only damaging the ship further. I don't recommend gun arms. I don't recommend them at all. I don't recommend colonialism. It's a hassle.
It's not fun. It's not fun. But you know what? Talking about, and I know I'm the only one who's interested in this, but that's okay. We're at the end of the show. I can spend 30 seconds on this. So, did you know that the Soviets also used to send cosmonauts up into space with sawed-off shotgun pistols? This isn't a bit. This is a real
was that
thing.
Like in case of disaster?
So
wow,
one of the first cosmonauts, who was like, a national hero for having survived a challenging, they didn't know if people were going to be able to live through that kind of thing. Anyway, he lands, but he doesn't land where he's supposed to land. He lands in some remote forest, I think in Kazakhstan, and spends an entire night surrounded by wolves in his capsule because they aren't able to rescue him. And so every mission after that was they sent them up there with a shotgun, not for aliens or even for Americans, but for wolves. And it was a practical thing. They needed to do it. It wasn't unreasonable. So, anyway, let's just say the gun is for wolves, for when you land back on Earth. And Metroids, yes, and Metroids. I'm also noticing now, and I didn't notice this when I'm not going to say when I was making this Photoshop, because this is a real photo.
Is it the giant boot print?
It is that the boot print is very large.
It caused some alarm to my friends Greenman and Dipsy as well.
Is there something larger on the moon than they are? Is there something?
Well, I've been going through growth spurts, and so they built these shoes in case they shot up another couple dozen feet, and they're just sort of waiting off stage, off the camera in case there's another growth spurt. And so obviously, as you see, Dipsy and Greenman are both about 18 feet tall in your Earth measurements.
This is like
on moon measurements. They're 17 schmallopples.
That's the difference of moon gravity. All right. Well, I think it's time to bring you home, Abby. If the indigenous people don't want you there, then you shouldn't stay there. So please promptly get back in your space capsule, and we'll see you when you get back to Earth. And for everybody who tuned in tonight, that's what she's walking right now. Do you see this? She's walking back to her capsule peacefully. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who performed. I'd also like to shout out one last person, well, a couple of people who helped on the back end of this, who you didn't see tonight. We had Zach M running tech. So all of these cool graphics and stuff, Zach was putting them up. It wasn't just like a magical process that I guess people know that because I would say things like, "Hey Zach, can you put up the graphic?" But whatever. Thank you, Zach. Can we get a round of applause for Zach? And also Matt Rubin. Matt did a lot of work behind the scenes on things like the website. Steph Sorensen, who is organizing with DSA PAC. All the great candidates, because this is a very small part of a much bigger fight for a more just world. And in closing, please volunteer. Giving a few bucks to a fundraiser is great, but we need boots on the ground. We need people going out there and talking to their neighbors. The link is on the website. If you didn't give to Connor, please give to Connor. So tonight we raised $500 plus whatever Connor received. I'm pretty happy with that. And I think everybody who worked on this should be too. So All right, love and solidarity to you all. Abby, do you have any closing remarks? Any last words on the moon or socialism or comedy?
I hope I wasn't too dreadfully annoying.
All right, and on that note, we'll see you next time.